The reason it is so difficult to get a truly accurate valuation is A, there's a lack of data, and B, there's a lack of comparability between the various different elements. I find in most of my efforts and engagements that when you go and you peel back the onion, you typically will have a true peer set of maybe two, one, or maybe not a single company that really can be a reflection of what the business's true value is. I'm going to go through a handful of different areas where I find there can be big discrepancies between valuation and really the comparability of businesses. The first is really around business size. As we've discussed in prior videos, larger businesses tend to trade at much higher multiples than smaller ones. And the available public information on transactions tends to skew towards much larger businesses. So what you see in a Fortune 500 company is likely going to be highly off from what the true valuation of a smaller, lower middle market business is. What you typically see in Fortune 500 businesses is that they have a much higher multiple than the lower middle market cousins. And so what happens is people will often apply the multiple that they see from the big publicly traded companies, but they can be off by 4 and 5x. The second discrepancy that you often find is around timing. You may have a multiple that's 2, 3, 4 years old, and it may be highly different in terms of the environment that it was in than what the current market environment is in terms of interest rates, in terms of the macroeconomic conditions, etc. You also have a number of differences in terms of just what are the business fundamentals. Go and look at your industry, and you're going to have, against any other business that you see, a wide discrepancy of strategies, industry segments that you might be focused upon, growth rates, your culture. All of these are factors which make it very difficult to really compare businesses on an apples-to-apples basis. The other elements I do want to talk about are really around the true accuracy or precision of the terms that are being used. So many people will throw around a multiple, but the question is that multiple reflecting the entire value? Is it reflecting just the cash value? And what are the terms of the other elements that may not be cash? For example, does it have an earnout? Is that earnout achievable or not? So these are all factors that are very difficult to really say apples to apples, these two businesses, the multiples are applicable towards each other. Similarly, you often find that there's discrepancies in terms of accounting, where the same business in the same industry could have different accounting treatment for different things, as well as the measurement period. So when we talk about, I sold it at 10x, was that off of last year? Was that off of the last 12 months? Or is that off future projected earnings for the business? When you take all these things in total, you see that it is very easy to have some wide discrepancies in valuations because it's difficult to fully understand whether we're talking apples to apples.